You know, the 72 Olympics were a tragedy for Hasely Crawford. He was gaining much experience and much respect as an up and coming sprinter, especially at the international and Commonwealth level. But unfortunately, he pulled out in the final with a hamstring. And we said to himself that that's a bummer. Maybe it'll be only his chance to ever do well at the Olympics. But he proved us wrong. Hasely Crawford eventually became the country's first Olympic champion by winning the 100 meters at Montreal in one of the biggest upsets in track history, because Donald Corey, Borzov, and a high level of top flight athletes were in, and he won on the inside lane in the first lane. And if you look at the video, nobody knows he's ahead until the last 2 meters. Now, Hasely Crawford, born 16 August 1950, is a former track and field athlete from TNT. In 76, again, he became his country's first Olympic champion. Hasely Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain was renamed in his honor in 2001. Now, born in San Fernando, TNT, one of 11 children of Lionel Crawford and Phyllis Holder, he began pursuing athletics at the age of 17. Very handsome and very talented and a strong athlete. He eventually drew a lot of interest by being a 6-time Trinidad and Tobago 100 meters champion, and of course won the 200 meter title for his home country in 76. He debuted internationally in 1970, winning a bronze in the 100 meters at the Commonwealth Games. Only 2 years later, he surprisingly qualified for the 100 meters final in the Olympics in Munich, but pulled his hamstring after 20 meters and failed to finish. Now, if you look at the video from 72 very closely, his legs is all taped up. He gave it his best effort, but no go. Now, Crawford ran for Eastern Michigan University under coach Bob Parks during his college years. He was a runner-up at the 75 Pan American Games at 100 meters, and his coach prepared him severely for the 100 and 200 events at the 76 Summer Olympics with a strategy of only allowing him to run in a few races during the season. So he worked on his mental game. He could produce in the last 50 meters, but he needed to know he could do it. Now, this tactic eventually paid off as Crawford, in the inside lane narrowly won the 100 meters final in a time of 10.06 seconds, just 0.02 in front of Don Corey of Jamaica, winning TNT's first Olympic gold medal. He had also qualified for the 200 meter final, but he was forced to pull out mid-race after injuring his pelvis. After these games, he met with further success, winning the 100 meters event at the Central American and Caribbean title event in 77. On returning home, he had both a jet and a stadium named after him. During his reign as the 100 meter Olympic champion, he also appeared on postage stamps and was awarded Trinidad and Tobago's highest honor, the Trinity Cross, in 1978. This award was changed to the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Crawford went on to compete in a total of 4 Olympic Games, as he also represented his home country at both the Moscow and LA editions in 80 and 84, but was unable to qualify for another final. He ran against Carl Lewis in 84, but did not qualify. The famous photo, of course. Now, Crawford's last international medals were a bronze and a silver, which he won at the 78 Commonwealth Games in Edmonton, in 100 meters and a 4x100 relay, respectively. He was a big hit in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Couldn't sign enough autographs. And I do remember he being interviewed, I think, by CBC, and he said, Canada must be lucky for her. He said, no doubt. He said, I love running in Canada. In 2000, he was named the Trinidad and Tobago Athlete of the Millennium. He's a member of the Caribbean Hall of Fame, along with Otto Bolden, who finished behind Donovan Bailey in 96 in the 100 meters, and Arthur Wint, one of only 3 track and field athletes to be inducted. Now, when I was saying he's very lucky in Canada, I'll give an example. His greatest time in the 50 meters indoor came in Ottawa in February 77, where he ran 5.78. His best 100 was in Montreal in 76, where he ran 10.06. And ironically, ladies and gentlemen, he wasn't a speedy 200-meter runner, but he was competent. His best was a 20.93 in June 77 in London. Now, to say Hasely Crawford is a household name in the Caribbean would be an understatement. Now, a lot of people felt Corey was going to take the 100 meters for Jamaica in 76, but I don't think it was much of a negativity because he was so popular being from the Caribbean, like Corey. It became like iconic and put Trinidad and Tobago literally on the map. in many facets. Now, the Caribbean Hall of Fame, of course, again, he again shocked the athletic world in '72 by making the final 8 in the 100 meters Olympic final in Munich. Injury, however, prevented him from winning a medal for his country, as he could only take a few steps and pull up lame in the final. Now, when he won his country's lone medal at the Pan Am Games in Mexico City in '75, it was a good preamble. The following year, history was created when he won his country's first gold medal in 100 meters. Now, in '78, again, he was a member of the squad that won a gold medal at the Central American and Caribbean 4x100 in Medellin, Colombia, and that same year collected a bronze 100 meters at Commonwealth Games. The only Trinidadian to compete in 4 Olympic Games. Now, the idea about Hasely Crawford, ladies and gentlemen, we always cheered on the black athletes in 100 meters. You know, Harry Jerome, the Americans from the Caribbean. But he motivated a lot of people from the Caribbean. And you look at the young woman who from St. Lucia, Dominica, winning medals. Every time somebody from the Caribbean, or the islands as I call them, wins a medal in track, it's all down to him, because he was the standard bearer. He broke through in a way that still we don't know how popular he could have been if he wasn't so injured all the time. But like when he was on, and a big guy too, he had a lot of power, and I think that he would literally run through the tape. That was his thing. He would never stop. The last 20 meters of any race, he was probably one of the best. Not say self-taught, but pretty freaking close. So just to recap: Olympic gold in '76, 100 meters, Pan Am 100 silver, Commonwealth Games silver in '78 to 4x100, bronze in 100 meters in '70 and '78. And it was a pleasure watching him in '76 and '78, because he was very popular in Canada as well, because of all the people from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean that have moved to Canada. So he was running for everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing a series on Olympic Vintage podcast, and I'm following a lot of categories. If you have any requests in the category, please let me know, because we base the channel on what you like to hear. Right now, not say I'm guessing, but I know a lot of stories that you never heard of. Daniel Bowden, one of the followers of the channel, didn't know anything about the Shirley Babashop East German feud over drugs. For example, George Orton, Canada's first Olympian. You're looking, but I think I might do something about the hammer champion that Canada had. It wasn't a hammer throw. I think it was a weight throw, 56 pounds or something. But the double hammer gold is making a lot of people think back about some key moments in sports Olympic history that didn't involve the Americans, but involved the Canadians or Caribbean countries breaking through to beat the Americans. Because there's nothing better for a Caribbean athlete or a Canadian athlete to beat the Americans at their own game. It's just the way we are. Because the big bully in the block in athletics needs a smack in the nose every once in a while. So, Hasely Crawford, my God, thank you for being so talented and give us so much joy over the years. Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Bye.